Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up and some of my August TBR. So the first book that I finished in July was Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. This book follows a girl named Taylor who gets some really devastating news. Her family decides to spend one last summer up at her lake house, and Taylor has to deal with people from her past coming back into her life again. This book is one of my favorites by Morgan Matson, probably my favorite. I enjoyed every second of it. The ending was sad. I braced myself for it. I was like, I knew it was coming. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, bracing myself. And so I braced myself, so I did shed a few tears, but I wasn't bawling my eyes out like I did with The Fault in Our Stars. But overall, I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It is one of my favorite reads of this year and of this summer, and I would highly recommend it. The next book I read was 8th Grade is Making Me Sick by Jenny Holm. This book is kind of like a graphic novel. It follows this girl named Jenny who is starting 8th grade, and you follow her throughout the year based off of the stuff. So there are things like journal doodles and like newsletters and stuff, like the best costume for Halloween and like school supplies and homework. And I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I just really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Sailor Moon Volume 2. I love this book. It is one of my favorites in the series by far. If you don't know what the series is about, it follows this girl named Usagi Tsukino who ends up becoming a sailor guardian, and she gets to protect the world from evil along with other sailor guardians who are her allies. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read in July was The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, which is another one of my favorite reads so far this year. I love this book. Every year during the summer, Isabel spends a summer at her family friend's house. There are these two brothers there. One of them she's had a crush on since she can remember, and the other is her best friend. I would highly recommend it if you've not read it yet. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. This book was just so adorable, and I loved it. It was so adorable. Like, there's no other word for it except adorable. It follows a girl named Elena who decides to wait in line for the new Star Wars movie. The next book I read was Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. This book follows a girl named Kat and her younger sister who move from Los Angeles to around the Bay Area, and they move to a town that's really foggy and ghosts live there. This book was good. It's not my favorite of hers. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Sailor Moon Volume 3. This book is probably my least favorite in the series so far. I enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Sailor Moon Volume 4, and this book is one of my favorites in the series along with Volume 2, and I just loved it. It was so beautiful. If you've not read this series yet, I highly recommend it. This manga series it's just so amazing. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Matilda by Roald Dahl. This is my 4th time rereading it. It's great even the 4th time around. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Sailor Moon Volume 5. This book is also one of my favorites. It was a little weird at the beginning. The storytelling is awesome, and you just pick up this series. It's amazing. And the next book I read was It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. Again, with the series, I love this book. It was a little more sad than I expected it to be, but either way, it was great, and I would highly recommend it. This book, I feel like, is even better than Summer I Turned Pretty. 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Sailor Moon Volume 6. I liked this volume. It's not one of my favorites in the series, but I still did enjoy it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I actually listened to the audiobook because I drove up to Mendocino last week, and I just listened to the audiobook on the way there and on the way back. This book was great. It did drag on a little too long, but otherwise it was great, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm not really good at setting a monthly TBR, but I usually set like 2 to 3 books I want to read in the next upcoming month. I have 2 books for my August TBR. I hopefully will read more than that, but you never know because school starts for me August 8th. But the first book that I want to read is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I'm already about 60 pages into it, and I am really enjoying it so far. And then the other book that I would like to read is The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing the coffee book tag.